Monday. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you guys know, I'm gonna be recreating this set of nails that my fiance did on me last Sunday, which I think you guys really enjoyed. So this is gonna be more of like a teaching moment and kind of point out like some of the things that he kind of like was not doing right as far as like the application and stuff. And then of course you guys will be able to ask questions as I go. Today is actually just gonna be me. We have Case today, so he's in there trying to get him to eat dinner and then bath and bedtime. So it's just gonna be me recreating the set again. I do want to focus on, it's gonna be more of like a Q&A, like as I go through the steps of like doing the set. I'm gonna be explaining everything very in a lot of detail, just in case anybody really, have specific questions. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I see we have uh Charlotte on here again from last weekend. Angie, let's see. Yeah. Oh, Natalia, I think she was on the last live as well. I don't know if Alex is going to get on here. She was interacting with us a lot last time, but I'm excited to try it out and then be able to put the comparison between his and mine. But if you guys are ready, we can get right to it. So Angie, I actually did not wear the nails, of course. I actually soaked them off like after the video, but I mean, he did prep the nails, so they probably would have stayed on for a few days, but it was Sunday, so I would have had to wear them during the week, and I was not doing that, so. But hey, Linda. Hey, Lina. I hope I said it right. Nisha. Hola. Okay, so we can go ahead and get started. Also, before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that I have a new acrylic collection that will be launching in the next few days or weeks, maybe by the beginning of next week. It's going to be our summer collection, and it's going to be 6 different like glittery, they're like shimmery, but like 6 shimmery neon acrylic powders. They're really pretty, so I'm really excited about that. And then also today is the last day of our spring sale. I have 20% off the entire website right now, and today is the last day. So if you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out, because starting tomorrow I am going to be adding some new items. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of people been into the duck nails. So I'm going to be adding the duck nails on the website. And then I'm also going to be adding my almond shaped nails, which are like a medium length. I know a lot of the nails that I have on my website are like the 3XL. So I wanted to start bringing back like the shorter length. So if you guys can see, these are like the almond shape. And I really got them because I really love the almond shaped nails that I had on myself. Like the ones that I did before the engagement party, which were like the ombre. Yeah, they're ombre in almond shape, and so I really like them. I like the link too, and so that's really why I am adding these to the website. But then also I am going to be adding the duck nails. Now, how do y'all feel about these? So those are the duck nails. Again, they will be available this first week of May. But I know these duck nails, like I personally like wouldn't wear them, but it is a lot of people out there that are wearing them, and it's becoming a thing again. You guys know how trends just be in and out, in and out. Okay, I see somebody say absolutely not, or absolutely do not like them. Like I said, I did them on my sister a while back just for content, but she didn't keep them. But I just personally would not wear them. But it's people out there that like them, so somebody said I can do it. It's a no for me. I definitely understand. But when you're working on clients, like you may have a client here or there that will ask for them. Have I had? I don't think I have. I had one client a long time ago, like a long time ago, ask for them. But I've been seeing them a lot on Instagram. I don't know about y'all, but it's been popping up on my Instagram a lot. I just seen a set today actually. But the almond shaped ones are definitely really pretty. I did record a video, if you guys can see. I feel like the length is really, really nice. Not too long, not too short. Really like them for sure. Yeah, so I have, okay, so I see somebody said that they've been seeing them on TikTok a lot. I don't know, y'all. I would like opening up a can or something. I don't think that I would be able to. Yeah, so the ones that I'll be selling are pretty short. Again, I think I do. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I did get a video of them. So this is what they look like. They're just too wide for me, y'all. But if anybody is interested, or if you have any clients that have been asking for them, I will have them on my website. But anyways, we can go ahead and get started. So again, thank you guys so much for joining, and I'm gonna be recreating the set that my fiance did on me last weekend. So if you didn't watch that, I will be sure to leave the link down below so you guys can go watch that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this around. Okay. And I'll be, as I'm working, I still will be able to see you guys' comments so we can chit chat as I'm working. I'll get this over here. There we go. So as far as the prepping part, of course, he did know to like push back the cuticles, trim my nails, and remove the shine. However, because he just did that set on me on Sunday, and he did remove the shine, and then Monday, I think it was Monday, I did another set on me for content. So I'm not gonna be prepping the nail like you usually would, but I'll probably do it on my thumb just to show you guys. But as always, the first step to doing acrylic nails is always to push back the cuticles. Whenever I filmed a polygel video as well, so I've already like pushed back my cuticles like 4 times just in the last few days, y'all. But anyways, you just go in and very gently push back the cuticles. After you do that, you go in with either your hand file or your e-file. I'm going to be using my Melody Susie e-file. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to be using my pink 180 sanding bands. I do have these available on my website. And there's really nothing special about them other than, of course, they're pink. But just make sure that they are a 180 grit for when you're filing the natural nail. And again, I am using the Melody Susie Flawless Pro e-file. And I'm going to be using it at like 5,000 RPMs. And whenever you're removing the shine, remember that I know it's a little hard when you're doing your own nail, especially when you're doing your right hand with your left hand, if you're right-handed. But you need to make sure that you have some stability. You don't want to just go in there and start filing like this because your drill is going to be all over the place. So what I do for me, and even on all of my clients, I always position my pinky on the side of my client's finger. Now, when we told my fiance to use his pinky, y'all, he literally just like stuck his pinky out, which I was dying. But what I mean by using your pinky again is just put it on the side of your client's finger, basically just giving yourself some stability. That way your drill is not just all over the place. You're literally in control of your drill at all times. You're able to make it go exactly where you want it to go. So again, removing the shine, you go from the right side and just working your way apply all the way around the cuticle area. Now, whenever you're filing around the cuticle, we are using like the tip of the drill bit, as you guys can see. And then also when I'm doing this, the drill bit is like laying really flat on my nail. I'm not holding it like this because then we basically would just be digging into the natural nail. So again, make sure that it's nice and flat against the nail when you're doing this. Just getting as close as you can to the cuticle. And then also, if you see, I pulled the skin back. That way I'm able to get in the sides really well, because if not, that's where your lifting will come from if you leave that shine around the cuticle. But once the cuticle is, or once the shine is gone from around the cuticle area, we just go in and file the rest of the nail. And again, making sure that the drill bit is like right up against the nail, like nice and flat. You don't want to be holding it at an angle, because that's when you create those rings of fire. So make sure it's always nice and flat on the nail. So that's basically it. Literally, y'all, we're just removing the shine. We don't want to go in and keep filing, because then that's how you end up, you or your client end up with really thin nails, and that's how the damage is caused. So again, just going in and just removing the shine. So again, because I'm not going to be keeping this set on, I am just gonna, or I just prepped this nail, but I'm not going to be prepping the rest, because I don't want to be walking around with like paper thin nails, y'all, from steady, you know, removing the shine and filing my nails. So after we finish pushing back the cuticles and removing the shine, we go in with our nail tips. Now I'm about to take it all the way back to the very beginning. Just a reminder that your nail tips usually come in a number 0 through a number 10. Number 0 is always going to be your biggest nail tip, and then number 10 is going to be your smallest nail tip. So of course, usually 0, 1, 2, and sometimes 3 or 4 you or your client's thumbs, and then 10, 9, and 8 for pinkies, and then 7 through 4 or 3 for the other fingers in between. So of course, I've been doing my nails so long that I usually know what size I am. So usually this thumb on my left hand is usually a 1, and then the thumb on my right hand is usually a 0, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but one of them is bigger than the other. But just a reminder that you want to make sure that whenever you're applying your nail tips, that the nail tip fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be hanging off the nail, because trust me, I've seen that a lot. So you want it to be exactly from sidewall to sidewall. Not too big, not too small. You don't want to have to like force the nail on, because then whenever you apply the nail glue and then let it go, most likely it's going to pop up because it's too small. So make sure it fit perfectly. And then also, if you don't know exactly, I know people struggle with trying to figure out like, okay, how far up do I place my nail tip? So the way to know is, you see how this nail tip has a little like line inside, and so your natural nail should be bumping up against that line. So when I put it on, like it literally bumps like right there. And remember, just as long as the nail tip is covering from sidewall to sidewall and your nail is bumping up against it. And then there are some nail tips that don't have that line, but just remember, of course, you don't want it all the way up, just as long as it's covering that free edge and it's touching sidewall to sidewall, and that's it. So now we're going to go in and apply the nail glue, and I'm just going to place a little bit right along that edge, holding my finger really, really straight. Position my nail tip right in the middle, and then hold down. And this glue dries literally almost instantly, y'all. This is my KDS glue. It is available on my website. But same thing for all of them. Usually my index finger is a 5. So as you guys can see, it's covering sidewall to sidewall. So I'm going to go in, apply my nail glue. Thank you, Miss Tasha. Okay, just like that. And y'all, when I say that Grabbing the correct size is super important. Like I said before, I've seen where people just grab like whichever nail tip they think fits, and then they end up having like a little bit of the nail tip hanging off on the side, and then they wonder why they're getting lifting, and it's because literally there's a gap on the side, and then any water, any moisture, lotion, anything that you touch will get underneath your nail, and it's going to cause the nail to lift, or it will cause the little green spot that nobody likes. And it's basically because there was moisture underneath the nail. Basically kind of like turns into like mold. Just like that. And then my pinky is usually like a number 9. And these, I forgot to mention, but these, y'all, are my all-time favorite nail tips. These are my tapered nail tips. As you guys can see, they are literally like the perfect tapered shape. They are a little long, so I always cut them down. But I love how they give you like that, what am I trying to say? I mean, that tapered square, literally, like not too, because I love the tapered, but some like nail tips are too wide, like even just a square, and so you have to do so much filing. But these, like, I just cut them down to the desired length, and then literally just have to do minimal shaping. So after we have the nail tips on, I'm gonna go in with my tip cutter. So with me just doing nails for so long, I'm kind of able to, like, I guess, just look at it and know that I've cut enough basically to where I can make them all the same length. And so usually I start just with my thumb. And what my fiance did was, and I don't even know where he got this from, y'all, but he cut a little bit off like the first nail, and then he used that to kind of like use it as a guide to cut the rest, to kind of get them all even. I know there's people out there that also use like nail forms. Let me see. I don't even think that I have any nail forms in here, but they use a nail form with the numbers to kind of to kind of figure out like what size to do all of them. But like I said, I just kind of go in and freehanded and just cut. And if I need to go in and cut some down a little bit more, then I definitely do so. I am going to cut them down just a little bit though, because he definitely did not do them this long for sure. I know he definitely like just came up with it, and people, I think somebody asked like, how did he figure that out? And he was like, I don't know, like it just felt right. So if that helps, try it out. If that works for you, go ahead, use that method. But of course, whatever works for you is completely fine. Okay, so I think they're pretty much all even. So after we trim them down, I go in with my e-file again, and basically what I do is I just blend the nail tip in the middle. That way there's no like big lump or anything. So I'm just using my e-file at 6,000 RPMs. And then I know there's some people that go ahead and remove the shine from the entire nail tip. So if you want to do that, that is completely fine. I usually just blend it in the middle, and I don't have any issues with like my acrylic separating or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove it from all of them since I've already started doing it. And I am gonna be trying to like literally recreate it exactly the same way that he did. Okay. So just like that. Alrighty, so after I finish of course, you would go in. I'm going to go ahead and just do it. So I'm going to go in with my dehydrator. You want to make sure that you never skip this step because this is what's going to help the acrylic adhere a lot better to the natural nail. So what you do is just go in with your dehydrator first and you just apply this to the natural nail only. Okay, so I did the dehydrator. This is my NC dehydrator. And then next we're going in with the NC nail primer. And again, just a little reminder that I am having my spring sale, which ends today. Like literally today is your last chance to enjoy 20% off the entire site. Okay, so I did the primer. And then next, I'm going to go in with my Viva paper towels. I'm going to be using my anti-monomer. Here we go. I'm going to be using the anti-monomer. Oops. And then I'm going to be using my odor out drops. And this is basically just going to reduce the odor of that monomer. It's not going to completely get rid of the smell, but it just basically masks it and it helps it smell better. And so this one is actually my peach scent, but I do have a rose one as well. And they both smell really, really good. But we're going to be using the same color he used, which is in the color Honeydew from my spring collection. Alrighty. And for my brush, I'm going to be using my number 14 Get Nail 32 brush. It is already crimped, so it's nice and flat for me to use it. Thank you, Leticia. I really appreciate it. Alrighty, so going in with the acrylic application. Now, one thing that he did was he used the color Honeydew and just apply that over the entire nail. Now, Honeydew is just a colored acrylic. It's not a core color, so you do need, or like for me, I do like to encapsulate them that way because these do come in smaller jars. I don't want to end up using all of it on just one set. So what I do is I do a layer of my clear first. So I'm going to do that on the entire nail. I like to place it closer to the cuticle area. And then just brushing it all the way down. Of course, cleaning around the cuticle area if I need to. And then one thing for sure that he was doing was he was brushing the acrylic like too hard, and or sometimes he was brushing the acrylic too hard to where he would place it and it's like he would almost like drag it back off the nail. And so that's why he was having to go in with more acrylic, because he was basically removing it. And then also I know I did talk about the liquid to powder ratio as we were doing it, but he was working with pretty much like medium-sized beads. And so whenever you're picking up a medium-sized size bead, you want to make sure that you dip it in. For a medium size bead, you would wipe it off halfway. Oops, sorry, hold on. You would wipe your brush off halfway. For a large bead, you would just wipe off the tip of the brush. And then for a small bead, you would wipe off the entire brush. And basically what that does is the more product in your brush, or like the more liquid in your brush, of course, the bigger the bead you're going to pick up, the less, the smaller. And so again, for a large bead, just wipe off the tip, medium bead in the middle, and then large or small bead at the back. So I'm going to be working with like medium sized beads. So I'm going to go in, dip it in, or wipe it off halfway, and then I dip it into my powder. 1, 2, 3. Get my bead. And then I think sometimes he also was waiting too long to place the bead down, and so then that causes the acrylic to dry a little bit faster. So just going in, place my bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet, and I'm just patting it down. And then as I get closer to the tip, just brushing it and to blend it in. And then I know I do get a lot of questions on how to basically make sure that the acrylic does not mess up your shape. And basically whenever you apply your acrylic, you want to make sure that you're wiping the sides off right here on both sides, and then even your free edge, just using the side of your brush to do so. All right, so we got that bead. Next, we're going to go in and basically do the same thing. Dip it in, wipe it off halfway. 1, 2, 3. And when I dip it into my polymer or my powder, I'm being really gentle as well. Next, I'm placing my bead closer to the cuticle area, pushing it up to where it's like really close to the cuticle, but not to where it's touching the skin. And then blending it in with what we already have on the nail. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Sunday. I'm just blending it in. So Leticia said, I want to do my own nails, but I really don't want to use a drill to shape the acrylic. Is that possible? Yes. So if you don't feel comfortable using an e-file, you can definitely do all of your filing with just a hand file. Now, I will say that, of course, it is going to take a little bit longer. And then that is a lot of work or hard work on your wrist. So I always say to work smarter and not harder. Like, also, I know a lot of people always think that what causes damage is the drill, but it's really just, of course, like if you fall too much with the drill, you will cause damage, but it all comes down to you, how you're using the drill, how fast you're using it. Are you putting too much pressure? So you definitely can do a set without damaging the nail while using your e-file. It's just a matter of basically learning to use it, but it's definitely understandable that you're scared. I always suggest just, still use it, but just use it at a lower speed. That way you can kind of like get comfortable with it and like the movements and stuff, and like especially getting around the cuticle area. And then the more comfortable you get, the more you'll be able to speed it up as time goes by. But we got the green on the nail. So now I'm going to go in and encapsulate with the clear. So I got my bead. I'm going to place it closer to the cuticle. And remember, the green basically is just for color. But then with the clear, this is what I'm building my apex with and my thickness. Because I think pretty much with his set, like the apex is, well, it was basically like non-existent, which, of course it was his first time. So it's understandable because y'all, I know of nail techs that's been doing nails for years and they still don't have no apex, and then their nails break off like literally within the same week. So don't feel discouraged if you're having a hard time with your apex. Like, trust me, so many people have problems with it. Leticia, if you're using a drill, when it comes to dust, really just using a dust collector. Right now, I've been using the McCart dust collector. I do have the Kira Sky dust collector that I still need to use and do a review on. So I hope that I can get that done here soon. Okay, so this is what the nail looks like from the side, from the tip. So I do feel like I need to add a little bit more just in this area. Like we have a nice apex, but then right there is still just a tad bit thin. So I'm going to go in and just place it right where I need it and then flatten it out. And very gently, y'all, like literally I'm just feathering the acrylic because I don't want to brush the acrylic off the nail. I just want to blend it in with what we already have there. Okay, so just like this. And so I know I just seen somebody say, can you do a video focusing on apex building? And we can definitely, I think I have one, but we can talk about it on here more. So when it comes to building your apex is going to be basically like the highest point of your nail. So if you guys see here, my apex is where where the brush is touching. So like right in this area, you basically just want this area to be thicker than the rest of the nail, because if I was to hit my nail on something, that's where your nail gets its strength from. So if your nails are really, really flat and you hit it on something, most likely it's going to break off because they don't have any strength. They don't really have much keeping it together other than the flat acrylic, which again I see that a lot. So having this as the thickest area of your nail, that's what's going to protect your nails from breaking off so easily. So again, to check for it, literally just place your brush over the top of the nail and you see where it's touching right there, like right here. That's definitely how you want it. And it doesn't have to be like a huge ball. Of course, you want it to be really seamless. So just literally making this thicker. And if you use like the 4-ball method that I always suggest, the way that the acrylic is applied, it basically naturally creates that apex for you. But I'm going to do the same thing again. I don't know if I mean, I said I was going to recreate it exactly as he did it, but I don't know about that anchor key. I may have to though. Yeah, so Angie, I see some Angie said she do a 3-ball method, which that's completely fine. As always, whatever method works for you is completely fine, y'all. But usually when I'm doing like when I'm encapsulating, this is how I do it. I think it's pretty much like 4 beads still. So my first one being just my clear that I'm going to be placing over the entire nail. And the reason why I do this clear is because, so like say next, like in the next 2, which I'm not keeping this set, but like say in 2 weeks, I wanted to come back and do a fill, but I don't want green acrylic. Maybe I want pink next time. I'll be able to just file away all of the pink, all of the green, and then I'll be able to replace it with a different color. And instead of having to soak the set off, I can just file it down and it'll still be clear here. That way I don't have to start from scratch. Alrighty, so I did the clear. Now going in with the green, placing that one right in the middle, patting, basically spreading it out. Remember pushing the acrylic up to the sides. That way we keep our shape. And then we're just going to blend it in at the tip. And then also whenever I brush my acrylic down, I always make sure that I'm doing long strokes, y'all. I don't want to go in and do a little stroke here, a little stroke there, because that's how you leave those bumps and lumps and you create an uneven nail. So again, I place my bead and I do long strokes. Literally, I always brush from behind the bead. And that's how you make sure that they're nice and smooth. So don't go in there doing a stroke here, a stroke there, literally long strokes. Going in, wiping the sides off again. We did get a little bit of acrylic underneath, so just wiping that off. And then going in, placing my bead closer to the cuticle area. And then whenever I'm doing the bead closer to the cuticle area, I position my finger to where you see how my finger is pointing down towards the table. That way the acrylic kind of does its job, or the gravity does its job. And it's basically just making sure that my acrylic runs down the nail, which is what I want. Oops. Cleaning around my cuticle. And remember, if you get any product around the skin, make sure that you wipe that off immediately, because if not, it will dry up and then you're going to do or have to do a lot of falling at the end. So wiping my sides, my free edge. And see how, like, even with the way that I applied the acrylic, it's like we're already getting that apex. But of course, we're going to go in and just make sure that we completely build the apex with the clear. But for right now, you guys see how, like, it's maybe a little bit of, like, just a little too sheer at the tip. So just going in with a tiny bead. Same thing around the cuticle area. Just going in with a small bead. Wiping around the cuticle. Just like that. And then now going in with the clear. Just placing this over the entire nail. Sorry, I'm over here trying to read the comment. I done got the acrylic all over. So I see somebody said something about, do you always have to encapsulate color? Is it 100% necessary? Like if I do a solid color, not a marble or ombre, etc., isn't the gel top coat enough to protect the color? Okay, so it's really not about just protecting the color. It's about making sure that you have a nice thickness and a nice thickness at the tip and a nice apex as well, y'all, because if you place your acrylic just like your colored acrylic and you don't have an apex, the top coat is not going to do, like, yes, it's going to protect the color, but it's not going to prevent your nail from breaking. So I'll basically show you, like, now again, if you like go in, and I'll do a nail just all acrylic, no, or like all colored acrylic, no clear, to show you guys like it is possible. But again, when you do that, like when you do all colored acrylic, no clear at all, like next time when you want to go in and do a fill, you're gonna have to soak off the entire set, unless you just file it down a lot and then do a new color over it. That worked, but if not, you have to do a whole new set. So that's why I just like to encapsulate it. That way I can just file down the colored acrylic. But if you wanted to just do all colored acrylic, I would still go in with a 4-ball method. So placing my first bead right in the middle, patting it down. And again, y'all, like as far as applying a acrylic, like it's plenty of like different methods out there, whether it's a 1-ball method, 2, 3, 4, like it's plenty of methods out there, but just use whichever one works for you. So you know, just because I use this method don't mean that this is the only method to use, or the only one that works or anything like that. And this too, like if you're buying acrylics that like sell their colored acrylics in smaller jars, I definitely would recommend encapsulating. That way you save more of your colored acrylic. All right, and then placing my fourth bead closer to the cuticle area. Again, positioning my finger to where it's pointed down and the acrylic is just naturally going to flow down. Okay, so I did the 4 ball, but I did feel like I was using smaller beads. So you guys see how like it's still a bit thin. So of course, as I always say, like just because you're doing a 4 ball method, of course, it doesn't mean that that's all you have to use. If you still feel like you like need a little bit more thickness or your apex needs to be a little bit bigger, then feel free to go in and add more acrylic wherever it's needed. Alrighty, so just like that. So we have a nice apex, good thickness at the tip. And the color, of course, is definitely a lot more vibrant because it is all acrylic or colored acrylic. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing on the other two, just using all colored acrylic. So if you, I see somebody just said about ask for tips when doing their left hand with or their right hand with their left hand, and y'all, like it literally just takes practice. Of course, whenever I do mine, like I just try to make sure that I slow down my drill, but as far as like the technique, I do the same thing that I do on my right hand. It just takes me just a little bit longer just because I do have to be more careful to not cut myself. But it's all about literally practice, y'all. And then the more you do them, like you'll find little things here and there that will help you make the whole little process a little bit easier. And remember, y'all, whenever you're applying the acrylic, like literally as I'm brushing it, it's literally just like a feathering motion. Like I'm not going in and like brushing super hard, because if I was, I would be brushing the acrylic off the nail. And at that point, like I'll literally just be wasting product. And we know how expensive products can be. And so we just want to make sure that we're working smarter and not harder when it comes to that as well. Okay, just like that. And then last one. Again, this is the color Honeydew from our Spring NC acrylic collection. And I can't wait to release the summer one, y'all. It's so pretty. Okay, so for this one, let's see. Never mind. So going in, placing the next bead below the first one. Remember, long strokes, y'all, and then making sure that we're wiping the sides. That way it's not like we're not taking away from our shape, and that way we won't have to do too much falling at the end. Alrighty, and then placing my last bead closer to the cuticle. Might have got this one on my skin a little too much, but just wiping it right off. And then also just a huge reminder that as you're working, you want to be wiping your brush off a lot, y'all. And make sure that you're using good paper towels. Again, I use the Viva Signature Cloth paper towels, and they work really, really good for me. I'm going to place just another bead right in this area. Alrighty, so just like that. Yes, and then this is how I do it. So I use the pink bibs that you can find on Amazon. I'll be sure to leave my Amazon storefront down below. But I use this and then I do my paper towel on top to wipe it off. Now, y'all, I have seen where people only use this to wipe their brush off. And y'all, please make sure y'all invest into some good paper towels, because if not, the acrylic is going to get stuck to your brush really, really bad. So you want something to where when you wipe your brush off, like the product is actually staying on the paper towel and not getting all stuck in your brush. So, and then the reason why I use the pink ones is that way the liquid does not like go through my brush or through my paper towel and mess up my nail table. Even though like I use these like it's basically just a white poster board, but I use them to protect my table even though it's already messed up. But this is the honeydew color. So this is after the acrylic application. This is what they look like from the sides. So really nice and smooth, no bumps or lumps. And you see how like we still have a nice shape. So that way when we move on to the shaping part, which is what I'm about to do now, we really won't have too much falling to do. Hey Talisa, so okay, I'm gonna show, I know I seen your comment and I was about to reply, but I had forgot what the drill bits were called, but it's these. So I went on this website. It was I seen these on not TikTok but Instagram. And so these are basically buffers. And so you put them on your drill, and instead of using like the little buffer, instead of using this, you can go in and use these and just buff the nail. I've only used them, like I think that was my first time using them, and so I mean they do work good. You just want to make sure that you don't set your drill to where it's going too fast, because I think I did cut myself a little bit the first time I used them. So definitely be careful, but make sure that you get these smooth ones, because again it's supposed to just be like a buffer. But if you just go here, I'll like set it down so you can screenshot it. So, but yeah, I found them on, or I seen somebody on Instagram using them. And so somebody in the comments left the link and I like bought them. I think they were like $14 for the bag, and it's, I don't know, probably about 20 in here. And I think they were probably like no more than $20, like including shipping and stuff. But next I'm going to go in with my hand file and we're going to be reshaping the nails. Hi, Nadilla. Okay, so for the shaping, I'm going to be following at exactly a 90-degree angle. Now, he did square nails, and so I may just go ahead and do them square, but I do not, like I hate square nails on myself. But just whenever you're filing or whenever you're doing square nails, just making sure that you file both sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. And as he said, just pulling that piece of skin, or what he said, pulling that piece of meat bag, that way he don't cut me. That's what he said. But just pulling that skin back, filing both sides, and then after that just following the free edge as well. You guys see how right now it's like slanted, and so whenever I place my file against the nail, I basically want the entire nail to be really straight against the file. And so I hold my file at a vertical angle and I just file back and forth. And as I'm doing this, I'm watching the shape of my nail change. And once I see that it's nice and straight and even against the nail or against the file, I'll stop. So like literally right here, let me see. Okay. So like right there, you guys think that's good enough? Like literally perfect. Maybe you can file in. Y'all, like I said, I do not like square nails. So I'm just going to bring them in just a tad bit to kind of give us more of that tapered square that I like. Okay. But you guys see how like literally just minimal filing. So I'm going to do the same thing on all of them. And for this part, I'm just using my 80/80 hand files. And it is a little bit hard doing. No, Misha, I do not like square on my nails. I feel like it makes my fingers look so wide. But for the rest of my fingers, like y'all, I literally be sitting here like throwing all type of gang signs to try to like get them as straight as I can, especially whenever I'm doing the free edge. So whatever you need to do, when you're doing your own nails, like, do it, because I know how hard it can be. Like, I know what helps me is if I put my finger on the edge of the table and just hold it really straight and just file back and forth. That's usually what I have to do to get my free edge like really, really straight when I'm doing my own nails. Let's see. So that's what I say that's what I mean when I say that you'll find like little tricks here and there that will help you. And this definitely helps me a lot when I'm shaping. And I really feel like this nail ended up, I probably glued it on crooked or is this my crooked finger? I think it is. Usually it's my middle finger. I know, but y'all, like literally my fingers be doing all type of stuff trying to get the perfect shape. Okay. So just like that, and we're going to do that on all of them. So what's y'all's favorite shape? I feel like mine for the longest has been like a tapered square slash coffin. But after I did this last set that I had on not too long ago and it was almond, I feel like I kind of fell back in love with that shape because I used to wear almond nails like a lot before. And so I think that's what I'm going back to, y'all. But this right here, like putting my fingers at the end of the table, y'all, like it's definitely a game changer. Like look at this middle finger. Literally perfect. Okay, so I see a lot of people saying coffin is their go-to shape. Like, yes, that's definitely, like I said, when I do square, I feel like it makes my fingers look so wide. Just like that. Okay. And then lastly, the pinky. Okay, so I see Vicky said her favorite shape is square or stiletto. So basically there's no in between. You're either going real narrow or you're doing the normal square. Hold on. Okay, so just like this. So we have a nice square shape. So then after we finish shaping the nails, I'm going to go back in with my Macart Flawless Pro E-File. And this time I'm going to be using my extra fine 5-in-1 drill bit. And I actually just used it yesterday to remove my polygel nails. And so it has a little bit of gel polish stuck on it. And so what I do to clean it off is just use my drill bit cleaner, which is available on my website. I turn it on at a high speed and just, hold on, just do this. And it basically just cleans it right off. Okay. Now taking it back down to 6,000 RPMs. And again, we don't have any bumps and lumps, as you guys can see. Like, they're all really nice and smooth. So what I focus on is making sure that I'm following the acrylic around the cuticle area really good. That way we don't get any lifting. So I go from the right side. Going all the way around to the left side. And then, as always, making sure that you're steady moving your drill. You don't want it to go like, or leave it in one spot for too long, because it will cause friction and it's gonna cause your nail to burn. And y'all, it's definitely not a good feeling at all. Like, it literally will make you like jank your hand back. Like, that's how hard, I mean, that's how bad it burns. But just going back and forth, and even when you're doing this, you want to make sure that, remember, you use your pinky to get some stability. That way your drill is not just going all over the place, but you have full control of it. And I'm just making sure that the acrylic around the cuticle area is nice and smooth, and that we have no little gaps in between where the natural nail and the acrylic is. And then, of course, just following the rest of the nail to make sure it's still nice and smooth. Following the sides in case we have any little rough edges. But yeah, the drill bit is available on my website. You can just type in drill bit cleaner and it just looks like this. And then I also have this drill bit on my website. This is the 5-in-1 tapered drill bit. Hey, Ailey. Same thing going around the cuticle area. And remember, y'all, I don't know if she's still on here, but I had somebody say that they were scared to use the e-file. And just a little reminder that it is completely normal. Like, y'all, when I first started doing nails, the drill that I was using was literally a drill from the hardware store. And so, like, it either went real fast or like real slow. Like, there was no in between. And so, and then too, it was like really big and heavy. And so I was so scared to use it. So for the longest, I was doing all of my filing like with the hand file. But even then, for me, like, it was really hard to get like really close to the cuticle area, especially whenever I was filing the acrylic after. Of course, like after the acrylic application. And so I was getting a lot of lifting. And so whenever I finally got a real nail drill, like, I started to practice and I like used it at a low speed. And then I just started to get more and more comfortable as time went by. So I definitely would recommend, like, you know, just try to use it, especially like if you use it on yourself first, and then it just helps with like just getting comfortable. That way, whenever you work on other people, like it'll be a little bit easier. Like it'll still be scary, but it'll just be a little bit easier and you'll have a little bit more experience with it. But just working on yourself, you kind of are able to tell like, okay, no, I'm putting too much pressure, like that hurts, or you know, it just kind of lets you know some of the things that you can and can't do. Tay, I only have about like one video on hard gel. I just did a video on poly gel. When was it? Last week. No, I think I posted it. Yeah, this last week. And so that is another alternative, a good alternative as well if you're allergic to acrylic. And it was really easy to work. Like I feel like it definitely was like my best set of polygel nails that I literally had ever done. Rosie, not yet. I do want to use it. This last time that I used it, I just used the dual forms that it comes with, but I definitely want to do the overlay form, or yeah, the overlay format. So next, after I finish filing all the nails with the drill, I'm gonna go in with my buffer and just go in and buff all of my nails to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. Thank you, Rosie. Alrighty, so just like that. And so next, I'm going to go in and first clean my table off. To get rid of all of this dust. And usually I use my dust collector. But I feel like it gets a little loud and I didn't feel like hearing the dust collector during this video. But after that, I'm just going in and wiping my nails off with an alcohol wipe. So I'm just using literally just alcohol and just wiping them off. Or of course, I could wash my hands off, but with me being on live, I don't want to have to get up. Wiping them off really, really good. Okay, so then next he went in and did a white French tip, which I thought, like, I just suggested that he do something a little bit easier, because white tips definitely, or just French tips period, are not the easiest thing to do at all. And I think that we can all agree on that. People think like, oh, I'll just get a French tip, it's easy. No. Let's see. Yeah, I don't even have my acetone in here. But let me see. Maybe I can use this. Okay. So whenever you're doing your French tip, of course, it just depends on how far up you want it to go, whether you want it to be like a really deep V shape or, you know, something higher. It is completely up to you or your client. But what has helped me is, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been seeing this a lot, but what helps with doing a French tip is if you do a line right down the middle of the nail, and then go from that middle line and just basically trace your small line like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Hey D. Just like that. And then just filling it in with the white gel polish. And I just started doing it like this, y'all, and it's definitely so much easier to do. I don't know why, but because it's so simple. It's literally just a line down the middle. But something about that line just kind of makes everything so easy. But just going in and filling the tip in. I know it, like I said, y'all, like this is my first time doing, well, not my first time, but I just started doing it like this. On my last video that I posted of me doing the polygel nails, and I just did the line in the middle and then did the two on the side, and then just, of course, like I do have to do some cleaning up, which you can do with a brush, but I just, let's see. Oh, hold on. Okay. Just going in with my little brush. And then I know a lot of people have troubles with like the gel polish, like either applying it too thick or and it takes away the like the shape of your nail. So what I do is I just use like the side of my finger and just go on the side of the nail to kind of bring our shape back. If you feel like it, you know, took away your shape or it rounded it off, I'm just going to go in with my brush to kind of smooth everything out. Just like that. It turned out good. So I'm going to go ahead and cure that one because usually I always mess up my thumb trying to do my other nails. But I'm using my Macart Flawless Pro nail lamp. Definitely love the drill and the light. They do sell it in a bundle. So if you guys are interested, my promo code is GetNail32. And again, for those of you that just joined the live, do want to remind you guys that today is the last day to get 20% off using on my website using the promo code spring sale. Okay, so I cured for 30 seconds. That's what we have. So I'm going to do the same thing on the rest. So again, really simple. If you just go in, hold on, y'all. Let me look. I be having to position or like put my finger on something. That way I have some stability. But positioning my finger on this nail polish bottle. Just drawing my line down the middle of the nail. And then from the middle, just drawing my small line. Y'all keep getting polish on the side. And then doing the same thing on the other side. Just like that. And then to make it a little bit faster, I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in with my nail polish brush. Right now I'm doing my, I'm doing my left hand with my right hand. So of course, if I was doing my right hand with my left hand, I don't think that it would be as easy, but I think it definitely would be a little bit more challenging. That's why I don't do French tips on myself, because I just know that I'm going to have a hard time. Okay, so over here, I do need to go in and just clean up my small line. So I didn't catch the name, but I did see somebody just mention if I could demonstrate a marble nail. So for this video, I am only demonstrating, or not demonstrating, but recreating this set that my fiance did. But if you just go on my channel or just go in the YouTube search bar and just type in Natalie Carmona marble nails, I do have different videos on how to do different type of marble nails. Oh, yeah, I just messed it up. Okay, so just like that, same thing going on the sides and wiping it off if I need to. I'm gonna cure for 30 seconds. Tay, no, thank you so much. And no, I don't know what my wedding nails would look like, but they definitely will not be green. I can tell you that right now. All right, y'all. So I'm basically going to keep doing this on all of my nails. And I really need to get my acetone, y'all. One second. Let me run over there because I'm using brush cleaner. And I can tell that it has some sort of like oil in it. And I don't want it to mess up my nails. So one second. Okay, so now that I have my acetone, I'm going to put it in my little dapping dish. And I'm just going to use that to basically clean up my work as I go. I don't know. Like, I think as far as like wedding nails, I think it's gonna depend on how my dress look, and like if it has too much going on, then I definitely will be toning down the nails for sure. So I guess it just depends on what I do. So it definitely helps also whenever I go ahead and fill in the sides. And then with my nail polish brush, I just have to fill in the tip. Thank you so much, Dee. Okay. And then, let me see. Definitely always make sure that when you're doing French tips, you keep you a cleanup brush close by to just clean up any little imperfections. Okay. Curing for 30 seconds. And the brush that I'm using to do all of my cleaning up is my Get Nail 32 Filbert brush. And it's a part of my nail brush collection that comes with 5 different brushes. And they're double-ended or double-sided. Okay. Okay, so we're almost done. Just got 2 more to go. But then also the other way to do my French tip is if literally I just go in from one side and see y'all like, and then go in. And I like to do this with a longer brush. I feel like you just kind of get more stability. But yeah, that was a disaster. I definitely need my line in the middle. Now I see why people do it. And really after this, I think it was just Bling that he did. I have to go back and look at the picture because I'm not too certain. But I think what it was like an anchor. Well, he said he didn't know what it was. And when y'all asked, he just said an anchor because that's kind of what it looked like. But maybe we can replace that one. Or should we leave it the same? What y'all think? Okay. And you don't have to cure them all in between. Like, you can wait till the end to cure them all together. But I move around a lot, and so I'd rather just be safe than sorry and just go ahead and just cure them one at a time. Okay. Finally, last one. So going in with the line in the middle. Oops. Okay, so just like that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and finally cure the last one for 30 seconds. And let me go back and look for the set he did, because y'all, I forgot. Okay, here we go. Wait, if it was zoom in. Okay, so he did a bow on the pinky. He outlined the small line on the ring finger, a cross on a middle finger, whatever that is on the index finger, and then I think the thumb, he just kind of did the cuticle area. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be using the Champagne Bling. I don't even know if I have another one of those crosses he used. If I don't, I may use this other one. Yeah, I don't have the exact cross that he used, so we're just going to end up using this one. Yeah, that would be fine. Okay, so he did, I guess I'll go ahead and apply that one on first, but he used our hard gel and then my wax pencil to apply the bling. So he did the cross on the middle finger. He kind of had it a little bit on the white. Right there. I'm going to go ahead and cure. And this hard gel you do have to cure, but it's definitely really good for stones. It definitely, like, y'all be having a hard time trying to take them off. And then for the pinky, he did the bow right in the middle. Oops. there. I think I'm doing a good job, y'all. Hey, Amanda. Okay, and then for the ring finger, I'm just gonna outline the small line. Now, I am gonna switch this one up just a tiny bit, just the size of the stones. I basically just went in with slightly bigger stones for the middle, and then I'm still doing the small ones on the sides. Okay, just like that, nice and even on both sides. And I just like doing bigger stones and then smaller as it goes up. That's cute. Okay, and then for this one, yeah, I guess the little anchor he did. Maybe I'll switch it up a little bit too. Do some tiny ones right there. Thank you, girl. Whatever that is, y'all. There we go. A little bit better than the anchor, because that's the one he did. And I didn't want the anchor, so I changed it up just a little bit. And then for the thumb, what did he do? I think he did, hold on, let me find it. Was it a heart? Let me find a video. Oh, okay, here we go. So this is what he did for the thumb. So it was... Hey, Robin, thank you so much. Yeah, so if you haven't got our spring collection, y'all, it has been selling out really well. And right now it is currently 20% off and the sale ends tonight. The sale has been running all weekend and today is the last day to get 20% off. So make sure you take advantage. It is 20% off your entire purchase. So if you've been eyeing anything, this is the time. Right, run and don't walk. Alrighty. So now I'm just gonna cure. It was definitely a lot faster than I thought as far as the bling placement. And then lastly, he went in with our NC gel top coat, which is the absolute best, y'all. Like, I love this top coat. It's so shiny and it stays shiny. You don't have to worry about that sticky layer. You don't have to worry about not curing, about it getting dull. Like, this gel top coat is, I promise you guys, the best. So if you haven't tried it, right now you can get it for 20% off. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this on all of the nails. And of course, making sure that I don't get it on my stones. Have some lint right there. There we go. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, my gel polish was in my drawer laying to the side, so now it's so much like top coat on the brush. Hey, D, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I promise. I remember before I started selling, because, at first it was just nail art products and not acrylics or gel polishes. And I was so scared to add, yeah, I didn't realize these rhinestones had moved to the side, and that's going to drive me crazy. I'm going to have to fix that. But yeah, I was so scared because I was like, what if they're not, that good quality? Or like, I was just kept beating myself up about it. And then finally, of course, like I was using the products on myself and testing them out before I actually started selling them. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I'll just go for it because, and then as I go, like I'll make alterations here and there as needed. And here I am now. People love my products and it makes me so happy to hear. Good night, Case. Good. I'm working. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was gonna drive me crazy if I would have left it like that. Okay. Just like that. And then we're going to cure for 60 seconds. Hey, Talisa. Thank you so much. No, I'm not going to do the other hand because I have other videos that I need to film. And so, like, throughout the week. And so, I do, like, here soon, like, once I get those videos filmed and out of the way, I will be filming a video of, or like, yeah, like, film a video and actually do a set that I'm gonna keep on, and so that way I can film both hands instead of just one. I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet, but I definitely need to do my nails for sure. Just cleaning up my stuff very quickly. Alrighty, so after we're done and cured the top coat, I'm just going in with my cuticle oil. Just gently massaging that in. I was trying to take this off, y'all. I bumped my finger. There we go. Alrighty, y'all. So here is the final look. So this is what, let's see. Where's the picture? So this is what he did. And then this is what I did. So I feel like I pretty much did a really good job. The shape, of course, is giving. The smile line on the French tip is looking good. And then I did do a few little alterations here and there with this bling placement and just went up a little bit bigger on these. But I really like the green. It's really pretty. But green has really just never been my color. So they're still pretty though. But yeah, so as always, thank you all so much for tuning in. Definitely was fun recreating this set and just see the difference. I mean, he didn't do too bad, y'all, but this is how I did. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I really, really appreciate it. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Yes, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you guys next time.